here in the Dukect Lounge. I'm going to be last week I had to go to North Carolina to visit some family, and everything's good down there. So it was a fun little trip. Anyway, well, I was planning to do an E3 recap, and I was looking at E3 videos, and there were some good games, and I will probably, if I have time, will be talking about some E3 if I do have some stuff to talk about. Or it will probably be done in a video or in some type of form because, quite honestly, this stuff right here, what I'm going to be talking about, is something that is honestly, I'm not really surprised by what the WWE doing, but part of me is another part is like I'm already am. And I just, this story right here, we're about to read you is like a bit unbelievable. Not a bit, but a lot. This is truly is unbelievable. Because I'm sorry, this stuff right here is just amazingly and totally just what in all of the world is going on. Um, I don't know what's going on here, and it's just I don't know what else to say. Honestly don't know what to say when you hear this story. It's just shocking because, ladies and gentlemen, the budget, WWE have been going through some budget cuts, and since since a lot of people are like saying what's going on, what happened? Well, since the WWE has not done well in the television rights, which is funny because when you look at it, the television rights they outgrow they bring in more people than what soccer and NASCAR do. I mean, when you look at what soccer and the new television deals, what soccer got from 90 million to I think what maybe to I think it was like 200, 300 million. Uh, you have what happened with NASCAR; they had a huge deal too. And you would think with the WWE and all this type of stuff that's going on with network, you think this would be good news, but they didn't. They got a really like a mediocre deal, and now not only was it this whole mediocre deal that really hurt the WWE. Now they are now slicing. They're cutting some stuff. Okay, little things. The wrestlers, which by the way, which funny thing is about Curt things about all the other guys who were cut off, the 11 guys, which I was going to talk about. I mean, a lot of guys who were cut, I already talked about in my video, saying all this stuff would happen. It's interesting. And I say this is interesting is because Curt Hawkins, one of the uh, guys who was cut off. Got one of the guys who were, was cut, and the only major thing he had was um, the only major thing. The only major thing he really did was, according to this a podcast interview from Shauna Wizards Network. He says he worked. He says it was a once in a lifetime like working with top names like Edge and The Undertaker. It was a once in a lifetime, indescribable, priceless learning experience. I can tell you honestly that I probably pitched 400 ideas the whole time I was in the WWE, and that was the one time they said, "Yeah, sure." We pitched, can we be Edge's henchmen? We look like him, and I actually went with it. That's how hard it is to get things going. I don't know what it is or why they say yes or no. Sometimes I feel like they need to be the ones to have the idea for it to to work it. But I'm forever grateful because of the opportunity was indescribable. I mean, I wrestled Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair in a steel cage in Chicago. I've wrestled with The Undertaker more times I can remember. I basically shadowed Edge for an entire year, seeing him prepare for world title matches on pay-per-views and WrestleMania. I saw it all firsthand, and it was an incredible learning environment that could never be duplicated again. And I see, I'll always be grateful for that. And right here, which you look here, he pitched 400 ideas. I don't know if he pitched like all these ideas is true or not. Maybe he's inflating the number, but when they say no, no, and they finally said yes to the Edgeheads thing, the tag team with him and Zack Ryder, um, he said yeah, exactly. He was like, they got a lot of no's because the guys who do the creative, they said no to. They say no, and I just you wonder. You sit there, you wonder why don't they actually? If the creative guys, I'm serious. I'll put the link where the thing is. Yeah, I'll put the link to where the what the statement is. I'll put the link in the description over at uh the freaking awesome network. Um, it just says this. It just to me it says like if these guys can't figure out, they have to have the ideas for themselves. Even worse, they keep saying no to you, no to you, no to you, or just tell you to shut up and just deal with find something for you and be like some like JTG or hell where Curt Hawkins ended up, a guy who just floated around in superstars land who never got a shot. Hell, he probably got a lot of guys. Hell, he did a lot of other stuff here and all the other stuff creative and everything else he wanted to do and all the other stuff and all the meaningless stuff he did. Just it's sad that none of this stuff actually worked for him. All they did just throw him out there with no character, no anything else, have him job out to I think Ryback, him and Tyler Rex, who was first a surfer dude, then a undescribable badass slash caveman, and I don't know what else. He's just gone. I don't know. It's just mm, I don't know. I just don't know what's this whole thing about um about how the creative things. But something right here happened this week that really is bothering me. I've been delaying it, but here it is. It's a Reddit post by RDP 318 3186. I don't go to Reddit, but this right here really caught my eye. The WWE Production Commission, right here. It says some of you may have heard the news today about budget cuts affecting the WWE touring production and backstage crew. And this person is saying that the WWE production crew is taking this huge budget cut, that the company is no longer going to uh, going to give them supply buses for them to fill crew members, to transport them to television taping, and there's a lot of people making all the TV content, everything. I mean, from making this, from doing all the ring help, to send it the rings, the crews, the lights, the LED tail, everything, every little thing these guys do just to build up Raw or SmackDown or just live events. These guys do it all, and now they're getting cut off, and now they're gonna be told to drive city to city on their own money. There's no buses going, so they have to carpool and stuff. You know how much money it is to rent? I mean, and by the way, you know how much money they make, these WWE production backstage crews? It's around basically $40,000 to about 75 grand a year. 40 to 75 grand a year. That's it, and that's not counting the just going back and forth. And Bob, it's for seniority, the 75 grand, the seniority and such. And they spend over three around to over 300 days a year on the road touring city to city, working on TV shows, house shows, pay-per-views as well, and everything little stuff here. NXT is a different production crew, so they don't have to work on NXT. And when you look at the schedule, what the WWE does, a typical day for them starts at 8 o'clock in the morning and will go all the way to 2:30 to 3 o'clock in the morning. Then they hop on the bus, travel to the next city for the next show, rinse, wash, repeat for a year for an entire year, and that's what the whole thing about the life right here. Paraphrasing, but it says now this right here, they're basically cutting. They're cutting the travel expenses for the crew. It could this stuff right here. Um, there's no buses or airfare, and not only you know that, but hotel accommodations. They're gonna have to have the crew, the people who do the stuff, have to pay it for their own pocket. Now imagine this. Look at the schedule of what the WWE. Go ahead and look at the schedule. I'll give the link in the description what the schedule is for WWE. Add upon that the days that they have to do from 8 a.m. to 3 o'clock in the morning. Then after they have to set the shows up, including live events. Not not only live events, but also pay-per-views and television shows. Um, and they have to go all the way up and do all this type of stuff here. And after that, and then all the stuff that has, they got to pay for all that in pocket. Could you imagine how much money? How someone on paying for 40 grand a year, 40 grand a year is going to afford to do this stuff? I don't think it's even possible. That cuts at least half or maybe 2/3 of what they're paid. So best again, 10,000 grand a year. That's below poverty level. Seriously. Um, but I don't think they could do this. This is insane. Why in the world the WWE is just cutting these guys? Not only these guys, prep pay, but all these other workers, everyone else except for guys in the creative staff, not the executives or anything else. Hell, I bag on game companies. But you know what? When things go wrong, when Nintendo has some problems, you know what they did? I'll put the link in the screen. But Nintendo's president Iwata, you know what he did? He took a budget cut. He took 50 million off his or some really rich amount out of his salary. He took money out of his salary. After that, and then you have Sony. They're like saying they're going to take some price cuts too. They're saying they're going to tighten their belts too. Where in the world is WWE doing that? Why hasn't Vince McMahon said I'm taking a price cut or I'm basically leading myself? Like, we're taking the initiative. I made the mistake. I have to do some personal responsibilities. I'm not going to cut any of my guys or any of the people in the production crew who do the greatest work out there. In fact, they're going to get a pay raise or something. Why don't you just cut Kevin Dunn or all the other chuckleheads you have there, Vince? Why don't just remove yourself? Why are you punishing people who had no wrongdoing? All they're doing is doing the service that you provide. Someone tell me how this idea of slashing the budget cut so badly that the WWE slicing the production crew for them to a point that they have to drive themselves, which they can't. I don't know, they can't even do it because it would just bankrupt them. And not only including the health issues too, because they might come in late, they have to start the start, they have to cut corners. Or hell, what happens if one of those rigs fall upon the audience or something? Hell, God forbid injure one of themselves, audience members, wrestlers, the people want to bag on everyone else's. You know, I bag on TNA and Ring of Honor's production or anything else, but I never heard this. Yeah, TNA screwed up old, but at least they actually paid them eventually. But this right here, this is dangerous. This stuff right here, the WWE production crew issue, and all this type of stuff, no one's talking about this. And I don't see anyone giving this a real big, like, oh my God, what's going on here? They'll say, oh, WWE fixed it. I don't think they are. I think they're going to let this stuff through, or worse, they're going to hire some scabs, and bam, next thing you know what? Next thing they know, people are going to get injured, they're going to get hurt, and all this type of stuff. So guess what's going to happen? What else is going to happen? And then next you know, people get injured. And trust me, and don't think this is not going to slide down. This is not going to slide down here. Because trust me, if the WWE has run their workers or anything like this happens on their shows or a live event, what do you think people are going to be like, am I going to support the wrestling as an art form? Because WWE is it. No matter how many times Kevin Dunn, Vince McMahon, or anyone else in that company, the executives want to think otherwise, they're World Wrestling Entertainment, not the World Sports Entertainment. They're not WSEE, they're WWE. And trust me, that's going to come down to a TNA, to Ring of Honor, to a Shikara, to a Shimmer, to Triple MX, or whatever, New Japan, All Japan, hell, Jeff Jarrett's promotion. That stuff is going to come down on them. You don't think that's going to happen, but it will. Trust me on that. And there's something even worse could happen. This thing, people could be like, you know what? We're done. The crew might actually just say, screw this. They might walk. Yeah. I mean, if you haven't known, a good number of the WWE crew members are represented by the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, the IATSE, a governing union body for stagehands in the U.S. and Canada. And if this stuff goes out, they might boycott, and the majority of people do boycott this because this is real dangerous work. And they say, you know what, you're not paying these guys, you're not taking care of them, and you're going to do this BS and walk out. Trust me, you can have the best booking in the world, but if you don't have a wrestling ring or anything set up, there's no ring, there's no lights, no cameras, no talent, nothing. There's nothing. You can't showcase your talent unless you want to do a really, really gaudy indie show or something. Believe me, this stuff right here could really hurt. And people say it won't hurt. It will. If God forbid the WWE, they just say, well, we're not gonna. What if they say this? Hell, what if I come because the show might come to the show is coming to DC. I think this Monday Night Raw is coming to DC. What if they say, you know what? We don't want to do that show. We're done. Screw you, Vince. That show's canceled. That's a lot of money, a lot of pissed off fans. And then you got another show, and another, and another, and another, and another. That's what, and then these things might happen. How many plans will they screw this stuff up? How long? Because trust me, how you think the WWE is losing money now with its with the WWE Network not doing so well? Imagine if this happens during their push for their pay per view, their Money in the Bank pay per view. That there's no help for like 2 or 3 weeks. There's no show, and including there's no pay per view. How much money do you think that's not going to cost? What do you think is going to happen? Because people, this stuff right here is, I mean, this shit is real now, man. And if this stuff does not, if they don't get this stuff together, if the WWE does not get their shit together right now, quite honestly, they might be gone. They might lose enough money to go bankrupt. Or hell, Vince might go private again, but let me tell you something. If that happens, honestly, I don't think they can come back. Black Eye, I mean, hell, this might, I mean, seriously, this could be the death knell. I'm not kidding. If those production crews quit and they bring in some green guys, don't know what they're doing, and someone gets injured because of it, you know what? This would actually be the true black eye of the WWE. This right here would be a complete nightmare. I just don't get this, man. This stuff right here terrifies me right here. And if Vince doesn't get this thing right, if they don't do anything right, trust me, if they don't get this right, I guarantee you that the WWE will be bankrupt or will go out. They will. We'll be right back. I'll talk some E3. Maybe I'll talk a little bit about Ring of Honor Best in the World, but this stuff right here, this is just depressing me, man. I don't know what else to say, man. Just I'm just really is just really depressing. We'll be right back right after this. This is the Dukect Lounge live on TalkShoe.com, and yeah. And we are back live here on the Dukect Lounge. Phone number, as always, is 724-444-7444. Once again, the number is 724-444-7444. And the call ID to connect to me, Dukect, is 92417. Once again, the call ID to connect to me, Dukect, is 92417. Yeah, I'm just out of it. I was angry. Angry and very just, I was upset because when stuff like this happens, I just feel like, what can I do? I don't want to be this negative. I hate being this negative. I don't want to be, um, you know, uh, I am just, I'm just angry right now, man. I mean, the WE, you have a chance to do the right thing here. I don't know. I gotta talk about something positive. Um, let's see. There are some games I'm looking forward to in E3. Saw some. Mostly Nintendo. Surprised that Nintendo actually won because they had most of the games that came out there. I really did like stuff from the Wii U, and I might get now. I like the new Zelda trailer. I think that was a really good one. I like the open world stuff. Hopefully, the graphic stuff will look good. Hopefully, that comes out 2015, but I'm not holding my breath. I see that thing coming out 2016. Uh, Other than that, I'm happy there's a new Star Fox game. I love that. I'm happy there's a new Yarn Yoshi. I love that one. I think Kirby. I really like the Kirby game. That looks really interesting. Um, there are a lot of good stuff that came from Nintendo, and the Treehouse was really interesting. I really love this stuff there. Really fun, and exciting. The other stuff with E3, Microsoft had some good stuff, um, but nothing came out this year. Nothing concrete. And Sony, I was okay with, but a lot of it just said holiday 2015 and just old video games. That's it. And the production values just completely was terrible. A random Hulk smash. People just didn't know what they're doing. I was like, what the hell's going on? Yeah, it was a terrible. I thought it was just terrible production values. I actually thought Ring of Honor was doing the production values for them. But then again, if they did, I think it would probably would have froze for 90% of the time and had only 10 minutes ago. The last of it would have been like, bad audio. But, that's just me. But anyway, overall, E3 was exciting and it was fun. There's a lot of games I'm looking forward to. And that's it. Not much there to say, but I got took things positive and such, and what have you. I just, yeah, I'm still blown away by that. Ring of Honor. Anyway, let's take a look at the Ring of Honor pay-per-view. Best in the world. I can't wait for that. That looks going to be very interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, we have because look at the card here. It looks really fun and exciting. Righty, let's see. First up, you have six-man mayhem. Winner gets a future title shot. You have Tommaso Ciampa, B.J. Whitmer, uh, Tadaris Thomas, Chris Coleman, Tanaki Watanabe, and ACH. I don't know who that is. I'm serious. I know. I know. My indie cred. Oh, I don't know who ACH is. I'm a horrible person. Let's see. See. Google is my friend. Okay, ACH. Albert C. Hardy Jr. Yeah. And let's see, he's 26. He's young. Yeah, he's interesting. So, maybe he might win it. I don't know. So yeah, let's see, ACH. Uh, okay. So let's see. Next up, we have a submission match. Roderick Strong with Adam Page taking on Cedric Alexander. I think that'll be an interesting match. I think that because Roderick Strong, good wrestler, but his promos need a hell of a lot of work. I honestly think if there was if he goes to WWE, I honestly think a mute gimmick would be very. I mean, why not? I mean, a guy just comes in, beats the crap out of your wrestler, doesn't talk. He has someone else talk for him. Anyway, next up we have Mr. Wrestling versus the Last Real Man, Elias Young. See, Mr. Wrestling, Kevin Steen, Kill, taking on the Last Real Man, Elias Young. I have Steen winning. I don't, because honestly, I like Steen, his matches, and power, package power drivers. It's fun. Always going to WWE. I think it will great for the NXT crowd. I don't think his act will work well in the WWE, the main roster. Next up, you have Matt Hardy with Michael Bennett, with Maria versus Jay and Mark Briscoe, the Briscoe brothers. No, not the old school ones, but the new ones. Yes, that looks interesting. I think this match will be very hardcore, bloody, and all that good stuff. Uh, Ring of Honor World Television Championship. Truth Martini will be handcuffed to the ring post as Jay Lethal with Truth Martini taking on Matt Taven. Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. Christopher Daniels and Kazarian, bad influence, but they can't call themselves that. So they're the world's greatest tag. The world tag, going for another chance to be the world tag team champions of the world. I know that is not uh, inconsistent or whatever. No, they are the world tag team champions of both worlds, of two worlds of greatness. Taking on Redragon, Kevin O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish. That's just, wow, what a name right there. Yeah, Bobby Fish. Because why not? And then it's time for the main event as Unbreakable Michael Elgin taking on the Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode fell clone of Adam Cole. And look, I like Adam Cole. I think he's okay, but his promo work needs to be a little bit better. I mean, that's all. I think Michael Elgin's great. I think he should have been champion last year. Adam Cole is just, I mean, I'm impressed by him, but I wouldn't say he's the greatest wrestler of all time. That's what I say, And I know probably indie wrestlers are gonna be pissed off. I'll probably hopefully order this. If not, I'll order the replay. Otherwise, I am enjoying it. I will probably order this pay per view, and it looks at least somewhat interesting. So yeah, I ended the show with a positive thought. Who knew? Anyway, I'm looking forward to Ring of Honor Best in the World. Anyway, this is me, Duke CT. Thank you for listening and watching to Duke CT Lounge. Not live on YouTube. Uh, it's a recording on YouTube and on TalkShoe and everything else. Thank you again. The show will be live again next week. Hopefully by next week, my Watch Dogs review will be up, and then TNA Slammiversary, my 20th review, and then after that, well, who knows? Who knows, my friends? Who knows? Well, anyway, Stu CT here. Peace and love. I will see y'all When I see y'all later.